Okay, thank you everybody for joining us today for the first lower school parent coffee. I'm Laura Kennedy, and as most of you know, I am new this year to the Meadows, and I've spent much of these first few weeks spending lots of time walking around the school, on the playgrounds, in the classrooms, and I am just so impressed with everything I'm seeing. The student behavior just jumps out at me as just incredible. They get right to work. Their behavior in the hallways, their behavior in the playground is just wonderful to see. And the quality of work and the quality of the teaching is wonderful to see as well. So I've been, like I said, nothing but impressed. And I look forward to sharing more with you through the memo and the newsletters and things like that. So I just have a few announcements today, and then I'm going to introduce Michael Orman, who's going to talk a little bit about the arts program here, particularly the things we've been trying to do in lower school. And then I will take questions. So the questions can go in the Q&A, and I will answer them that way. So one of my first questions or topics is we're getting more of is parents. Parents are missing being on campus. And believe me, I miss seeing parents on campus. 7 weeks into school and I only know a few parents, which usually I'm busy meeting parents all the time at drop off and at carpool and seeing parents in the hallways and seeing them in classrooms helping. So I've talked that over with Mr. Gregerson, and if we do feel that there are opportunities where we can do activities safely outside, we will invite parent helpers at times. So look forward to hearing a little bit more about that in the coming weeks. Also, I'm missing getting to know parents. So if any of you want to have a Zoom, have a phone call, or even meet outside for coffee somewhere, I'd be happy to do that, because at this point in the year, you know, almost 2 months in, I really want to get to know parents and hear your thoughts and your feelings and get to know, I've been getting to know your students, and now it's time for me to get to know you. So please feel free to take me up on that for, like I said, for coffee, for a phone call, anything like that. Parent-teacher conferences are coming up on October 15th and 16th. That's going to be via Zoom. You will get directions on how to register for that soon, and they take place over 2 days. They're about 20-minute conferences on the half hour. And report cards will be, first quarter report cards will be ready just before. Another announcement, our school counselor, Allie Hirsch, has begun doing some guidance lessons in lower school. She's focusing on reducing stress and anxiety and coping skills for students. And she's also available to meet with parents at any time, should you need to meet with her about any issues you or your child is having. And her name is Allie Hirsch. So we've added some more arts classes. I've been really excited to be able to do this and partner with Michael Orman, the new director of arts. So Michael, could you just talk a little bit about what we've added and what the students have been doing with adding more arts to the lower school?
Yes. So again, my name is Michael Orman. I'm the director of the arts here at Meadows School. You know, one of the things that struck me when I first started here at the Meadows was the integration of art into the curriculum, the day-to-day curriculum in the lower school, and the value that that brings to the students. What we really have tried to do over the past few weeks now, for the past about 6 weeks, is find opportunities for students to have more enriching experiences. The schedule has lent itself so that our faculty, our middle school and upper school arts faculty, have been able to have basically pull out time with the lower school students. So what we have set up over the course of the next couple weeks is, in grades K through 5th, students will have an opportunity of about an hour a week to be pulled out of class. Their class will actually come up to the CFA. They will meet with either a middle school or upper school visual arts teacher and have a curricular-based, you know, pedagogically appropriate arts lesson that is not necessarily related to the curriculum in the lower school, but just giving them opportunities to have this creative experience. In 4th and 5th grade, additionally, we have found time to integrate a dramatic arts lesson as well. So on a carousel cycle basis, students in 4th and 5th grade will get an hour a week to come up to the CFA, go onto the stage, socially distance with masks, and working with our upper school theater director, Tim Burris, who is amazing with children of all ages, K through 12, just a dynamic individual who just is able to connect with all students at all levels. So we are incredibly fortunate to have him. We're fortunate to have this time and this integration with the lower school. You know, our goal, my goal for Meadows Arts is really to kind of align the curriculum of visual arts and dramatic arts so that we have that progression starting in the beginning school, working all the way up through 12th grade. And already we found opportunities to make that happen. And I know that moving forward, we're just going to find more time to integrate it into the curriculum and you know, utilize the schedule as it is so that students have an enriching experience. So those are just a couple of the things that we're doing right now. We have more, you know, in the works. Again, still 4th and 5th grade does have Meadows Singers, a wonderful tradition, an audition-based high-level group that meets every other week, depending on what grade, with Miss Sirota. And that group is just a dynamic group that really elevates the music experience in the lower school. So just a couple things. If you have any questions or any comments for me, please, I'd be more than happy to answer anything that you have. So
thank you, Michael. So in no way is this to take away from the classroom teacher's ability to teach art, because I have been, as I said, very impressed with everything they're doing, but particularly their ability to teach art. The quality and the high level of art that's around our campus right now is really incredible. So, but I've also been fortunate to watch a couple of the drama lessons, as Michael said, on the stage, and hopefully if your kids had the opportunity to have class, it was really something to see. It was so fun, and to have the Zoomers up there on the screen, just life size, was incredible too. So it was, it's really great to see. Okay, a couple of other just announcements. So our Good Citizenship program is rolling along. Right now, it's not like it was before, that it was every Friday or every other Friday at programs, but it's just whenever somebody does something that goes above and beyond, you get a postcard home. We've given out about 35 so far this year. Our focus on the last month was growth mindset, and the focus this month is on kindness, on being kind. So hopefully you will see one of these coming home or more this year. I want to just talk a little bit about Halloween. I'm working right now with Sarah Carlson to finalize our plans. Halloween will happen at the Meadows. Kids will come to school in costume that day, so please make sure the kids, I guess, used to change when they got here, but we want to make sure that kids have all their parts of their costume and have all their necessary costume with them, so they will come to school in costume. And then later that day, we will have a parade, and parents will be able to come on campus and see the parade from their cars or from other viewing spots. So we're working on details right now. We also will have parties as well. So it will be a really fun, festive day here on Halloween. Upper school tutors. There are upper school tutors available. So if via Zoom, after school. So if any of you are interested in having an upper school tutor, they are available to do it for their service hours. You can let your classroom teacher.
Kennedy,
yes.
You cut out for just a moment. So
Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. I just mentioned that there are upper school tutors available. So if anybody is interested in having an upper school tutor, they are available after school. You can let your classroom teacher know, and then we'll get in contact with the upper school, and they would make the arrangements with you as to day and time. I have a question about grade level cohorting and how that works. Because as you saw in Mr. Gregerson's announcement, we moved to grade level cohorting instead of class cohorting. It really does not affect lower school as dramatically as other grade levels, or other divisions. The main way it affects us is our recess. We used to have 6 zones, and now we have 2. So each grade level gets a zone, which is basically half the playground, and we flip-flop during our a week. So you have a week, for example, at the play structure and the 4 squares, and then you have a week on the field and with the kickball fields. The only other way it really affects us is with PE class. So occasionally, if there are 2 PE classes of the same grade, which doesn't happen every day, they could also play together or against each other, actually, in their PE class. So that's the main way it affects lower school right now. Are there any other questions out there? I don't seem to have many. And that's really all I have today. But I'm just going to open it up for questions. If anybody has a question, you can type it in the Q&A. So this is a very strange format for me. Usually I'm used to being in front of parents, presenting, taking the Q&A. I hope that sometime this year we can get back to that. Will the good citizenship, I have a question here, be going back to the original format once COVID is over? We will assess that down the line. We'll see how this goes and see if we go back to the original way or not. So we'll take some parent feedback, teacher feedback, student feedback, and see. Any other questions for me? Oh, is there, I've been asked about math enrichment. There is math enrichment for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, math Olympiads in 4th and 5th grade, which is starting up. They were doing optional voluntary tests this past week, and then small groups were chosen, and then we are doing it in the mornings before school. So if your child was chosen, your classroom teacher should be letting you know in the next day or two. I got a big thank you from somebody for teachers and staff for supporting the remote learners. So it really is amazing to see. So I agree with you, a huge thank you. It is hard work. It takes a lot of planning. It adds a lot to their day, but to be in the classroom and see the remote learners just as engaged as the students. And then we had our learning specialist, Dr. Kristen Withy, reached out to every remote learning family this last week to get feedback, and she got some really great ideas for feedback on how to improve that experience even more. So if she hasn't reached out to you yet and you are a parent of a remote learner, she will be reaching out, but she told me she reached out to 80%, had conversations, live Zooms with every remote learner, and she gave us some really valuable feedback about, like I said, to make it even more. Will class programs take place at all this year? I do not think so. We have talked as a faculty about how to make it work, and we don't have a great answer for that, for practicing and rehearsing and being in the theater, and it's really the mask thing that makes it very hard. So if that changes, if we come up with a great idea on how to do class programs, Michael, you might have some thoughts about that too, now that you've been here and had a chance to see the class programs, if there's a way we can think out of the box to make them work. Michael and I, the librarian Courtney Friedman shared some of the past programs, and they were definitely impressive. I think with everything going on and remote learners, what part of our problem was how to make that all work. But if that changes, I will let you know. Okay, let's see, a couple more questions. Michael, this one's for you, from a parent who's giving a compliment just of the first grader was just talking about their art experience. So it is pretty special. They get to go up to the big school and have art in the art lab or go on the stage. So thank you for that compliment. It has been a great experience. Is lower school orchestra sometime soon? Michael, that's a question for you.
Right now we are brainstorming on how to implement some of those lower school programs that were offered. At this time, we will not be offering lower school orchestra, but that's not to say that as the school year moves forward, we could find some time to do that. With the cohort model as it sits right now, we still are not allowing that cross interaction between grades. And so having the orchestra would require some of that. Even with distancing, but I will say that it is not off the table for the rest of the year. We will be looking at all of those programs as the year goes by.
Thank you, Michael. And I have one more question. So a parent is saying that during Parents' Night, we were informed that mass fax testing is being phased out. And is there a way we can continue to do it at home? It is definitely not being phased out, and I certainly see it in my daily observations. What I was encouraging the parents or teachers to do is to practice a little bit more than just test all the time, because just by giving a test doesn't always help students learn their math facts, but the math facts program is still going. Students still get tested weekly to earn their math ribbons, and so that is still happening. there any other questions? I'll wait just a couple more minutes. Maybe not a couple minutes, maybe 30 seconds or so. It looks like I don't have any more questions. This is about the shortest parent coffee I think I've had in history. If I'm actually going to finish in the next few minutes, if I don't have any other questions. And if there's anything you'd like to see in the next parent coffee, if there's any special guests you'd like me to bring in, I'm happy to do that. I'm also talking to our communications director about how we can share more photos and things with that more intentionally with parents so that you can see what's happening on campus. Because I know, again, as I said at the beginning, I know parents miss being on campus. Okay, so a parent said for kindergarten, you were told you can't earn math ribbons this year. I have not been told that by kindergarten, so I will look into that for you and have the kindergarten teachers put it in their newsletter or communicate in some way with you. Okay, well, thank you very much for coming today, and I will see you at Carpool at hopefully at Halloween. I haven't chosen my costume yet. I usually go big on Halloween. So you will definitely see me in the parade. But again, I'm not sure what that will be like. And please take me up on my invitation, as I said, to get to know you in whatever way we can try to do that. So thank you for coming.